Hello, Edison. Again, this is Chris here from Edison Now. Thanks so much for joining us and actually sticking with us. We talk everything Edison, well, just about everything Edison. And one thing I was actually pitching a couple weeks ago is we want small business owners to come on the show, and we have one tonight. Owner of Casa Uomo. I'd like to welcome Michael Moscaritolo and his assistant, Sammy. Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having us. Hi, Edison.
Yeah. So, owner of Casa Uomo. You make people look better.
We do. Casa Uomo is a men's salon. We're one of the oldest shops in Edison.
Okay.
Actually, in the whole area. Since 1968.
1968.
We were established.
Okay. Yeah, a few decades there.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Started out with a family member?
My father.
Your father.
Yeah.
Oh, very
actually,
good.
yeah. There's another business in Woodbridge who's about the same age as us. Vito
Okay.
Massa Salon.
Oh, okay.
And him and my
We've
dad
heard.
kind of all came over from Italy at the same time.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and that's how that whole hair industry started.
Gotcha. Which part of Italy?
We're outside of Naples in a town called Vallata.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah.
How does that compare with the weather here?
No.
Yeah,
Oh, it's like here. It gets hot there. It's summer. It's
Gets hot.
winter. Yeah.
Summer. Right. So you said it started out with the family. Started out
Yes.
with your father. Did you actually start out with a salon? Is that how the business started, or?
Me?
Yes.
Yes. I grew up in the salon.
Okay.
I grew up on that shop floor and doing everything. I would sweep. I would shampoo. I would do towels. You name it. I would learn how to shave. So that's how I did it. It was very important for us to go to college
Right.
because my parents didn't have that opportunity.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So I did. But I loved the arts and I loved all that. So school started out where I went to the Art Institute of Philadelphia for 2 years.
Oh, very nice.
And I realized, okay, what am I going to do with this? Unless I go back to Italy and stare at art and explain it.
Right.
So I went on to get my bachelor's degree in marketing and merchandising.
Very nice.
Right. And so I worked in the city for a garment company for about 6 months. And I kept applying. I wanted to go to graduate school. So I got accepted to NYU.
Oh, very nice.
So I wanted to go to NYU. And it was expensive, really expensive.
Right.
And I guess with pride, an Italian thing is you don't do loans. And we obviously couldn't afford NYU tuition. So I worked in the city as a barber
No.
while
Okay.
going to NYU.
Oh, very good.
And I worked at a bar called Down the Hatch. After the barbershop, I was a bartender.
Okay.
And I needed the money because it was that expensive. And I did.
Yeah.
That's how I paid for college.
Excellent.
So while I was in school, I got to know a lot of people at NYU. And I had gotten a job at Tommy Hilfiger,
Okay.
working in production. And I would work with the designers and the ad agencies and the factories and manufacturers, and we'd come up with complete looks.
Okay.
So I took my barbering skills to like that whole next level,
Okay.
and that's what I was doing. I was running around on location. I was all over the world.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Like, I'm an Italian kid from Jersey.
Right.
And I had this opportunity. They're like, here's an Amex, and just go where you got to go. I did that for about 20 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
Yeah, and I would go to different brands. I even ended up at Coach at one point because the executives from companies would go to the next big trend.
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, it was Tommy Hilfiger who was competing with Ralph Lauren.
Right.
And then with Calvin Klein, we even did it. And they wanted at that time, back then, it was all about selling an image. And so we were doing body waxing and all kinds of crazy stuff for all kinds of ads.
Right.
So then as I got older, younger, better looking, thinner people started coming in. So I knew it was time to go. And I was working so much that I started getting sick.
Okay.
So I came back to Edison, and I wanted to create a shop like that I knew. And there was a need for it.
Right.
There was a need for a legitimate shop that was run well, run legally.
Right.
Like everyone's on payroll, they're paying taxes. We don't do
Right.
off the books, under the table. Everyone has to have proper insurances. And I guess people say, how does your business last so long? And
Yeah.
we've seen all kinds of changes where I live. From being a dead area to a quiet area to like Menlo Mall was a strip mall at one point, and then it became a huge mall, and then there was restaurants and businesses would come and go, and different cultures would come in and go, and different types of people. But we just kept our brand strong. We stayed true to who we were.
Right.
We never compromised. In fact, it breaks my heart as a business owner, as a resident, as a lifelong resident, as a place you love, Edison. Edison was everything to me. When you have businesses that specifically come to Edison because they know they can get away with stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like let's say the barbershop business.
Yeah.
You'll have other shops leave towns because they have such a hard time, come to Edison because nobody's on a payroll system. They're not licensed. There's none of that going on.
Right.
So you create a really big problem for legitimate business because now you're like, I'm not cheap. We are the best. We are the #1 rated salon in the state.
Oh.
Men's salon. We're the highest rated. But we also keep certain standards. I have employees sometimes leave at night crying. Sam will tell you, and that's okay.
Right.
You know, if you're not going to do something to standards, then you don't belong here.
Mm.
People go to work for money.
Right.
And they're not going to drop a few $100s for a barbershop if you're not giving them what they deserve.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's a simple philosophy.
Right.
It's a very Italian philosophy.
Right.
Do the best or don't do it.
Right. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more.
So,
right.
You know, and sometimes I get really loud and vocal, obnoxious on Facebook or posts like that. And that's okay because you need that somebody who's obnoxious who's going to kind of kick you in the shin. Because I'll even hear like council members or something, oh, I'm going to really take on the businesses and the local businesses. And, you know, you don't even know what's going on with half of them.
Yeah.
Between the nail salons and the barber shops and the rub and tug shops and all this stuff in Edison, there's no licenses. There's nobody's insured. That upsets me. Like, that really pisses me off.
Right. Right. When you go, you know, when you take the time, the money, the effort, right, and the time to do things the right way, right?
It's not only me as a business. As an owner, that's fine. I could run any way to be profitable, but I'd rather run the right way because I'm developing people.
Right.
That's what ultimately it comes to. I'm developing people. And we're all kind of misfits in that shop. Like Sammy has her own history, and Angel, who's one of our best stylists, came to me. He's like a punk. You know, Angel's somebody who's in America on DACA.
Okay.
But he was working in these shops where they were like paying under the table, and he wasn't paying income tax. He had no idea what that was. So in the very beginning, it was tough.
Right.
You know, it took a lot but Angel now is a 6-figured employee, and who's got savings in this, a few $100,000. This is a 25-year-old boy.
Right. Right.
You know, and they appreciate how it works.
Right.
You know, and that's what a business owner is about. A stylist should be about something else, but an owner should have those people's backs.
Agreed. And one aspect
and if you do that spreads like a disease in the town.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Because other people want to do that.
Right. Absolutely.
But if you're real shady and a town allows that and welcomes it and almost kind of like welcomes it with open arms because of whatever's going on, I don't know, then that's going to spread.
Right.
So you're going to get a lot more of that.
Right, absolutely. And you hit on something. You hit the nail right on the head with something very much. Something that a lot of people kind of overlook. Not all business owners look forward to developing their employees. You know, that's more of a leadership aspect. You know, when you actually think about it, you know, somebody who wants to take the time, invest in their employees, develop their employees, because the better the employee is for you, the better the better it is for your business. And now Sam, I'd like to talk, want to get to your perspective. So how long have you been working at Casa Uomo?
This is my actually 4th month.
4th month?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent. And how's it been so far?
It's been great, actually, to be honest. You know, Michael is the only one who knows how to find a diamond and make it into shine like a diamond, because he doesn't just look for people who knows how to cut hair or gives just a customer service. He treats them in like, our clients is everything to us.
Right.
He knows like how to change their stylist into a better version of what we had learned, because we don't learn much in school. The school just gives you a paper. They just tell you, okay, this is the paper, now you go do what you gotta do. And to find a shop like Michael Owens' Casa Uomo, it's actually it's almost like you have to find something like that. And for Michael to train his employees into a family member, and then that's our shop now. This is just not like we don't just work there. We are like family. We develop the shop. And everybody, whoever comes in the shop, they're treated like a family, you know. We build relations. We don't build clientele.
Right.
We build relations. And people been coming there, like he mentioned, Angel. People been coming there to Angel from like ever since. And they come in and they just sit down, drink, and then they just like have fun. It's just like our people.
Oh, that's excellent. That's excellent.
And to learn from Michael is just a blessing, because, you know, he'll teach you. He'll pick every little thing that needs to be worked on. He'll tell you, he'll be like, this is how it should have been done, and this is how you're going to do it.
Right.
And it could be hard at sometimes, but at the end, the result is always better.
That's exactly it. The results are always better. And I try to remind people this all the time. It's like, look at these folks that try to give you advice and try to develop you, right? They're trying, years of experience it took them to get them to where they are right now. And it's such an advantage for younger employees, to not have to go necessarily through that steep of a curve when, the experience is actually brought to you.
Yes.
And it's the right experience. It's the right way to do things. And it's either the right way or really don't do it at all.
That's true.
To be honest with you.
Yes.
Hey, now actually you make me want to book an appointment with you now, so, maybe that's will be in the
It's tough
near
to get
future.
in, I'm not going to lie. It is backlogged. It is.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's. My employees kind of never left. Like, even my father had the same philosophy. Most of his employees were there for like 25 years. I know people right now are freaking out trying to find help.
Right.
I'm the opposite. People want to try to get in.
That's good.
I go through a lot of assistance because if I literally, and I've never fired anybody personally.
Yeah.
I usually pass that off and I'm say, she's got to go or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But once you're in, we become family. Our guests, I don't even call them clients. I call them our guests.
Right.
Become part of our lives. We become part of their lives.
Yeah.
So we're there for their engagements, their marriages, the deaths in the family, the divorces, the cheating.
Right.
We know stuff we shouldn't know. We know things that sometimes we're like, we shouldn't be knowing this stuff.
Right.
But people get so comfortable. And I love the fact, as we evolved as a town, in all kinds of cultures, we get all kinds of cultures.
Oh, that's excellent.
So which I love. And we have fun with that. And we actually poke fun at the different cultures. So we'll have we're making fun of the Italians, or I'll have Israel. We have a lot of Israelis that come in who have businesses in the area, and they only like coming there.
Okay.
Nice. So it's all the Indians, of course. It's Edison, and and then there's different types of Indians that we learned about, and then so we have a lot of fun with that. Like Sam is Indian, but she's like a certain type of Indian.
Yes.
Gotcha. Right.
So we have a lot of fun with that. So you kind of make it a safe space. We have our gay guys, we have our trans people, we have our, you name it, we have lesbians that come in. And they're all part of that color. They make up that shop. That's what makes the shop.
Absolutely.
It's those characters.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And the different personalities, it keeps things lively, keeps things interesting.
It is. We back it up. I mean, quality is always going to be the quality.
Right.
But what else do you bring to it? So you can go to some cheap shops, but people still go. Their service is horrible. Their end result is terrible, but they've had a great experience.
Right.
So I don't know if you've ever been to Italy or something, but it's like going to Capri and having dinner at that quaint little restaurant that you're never going to forget that experience for the rest of your life.
Right.
And it was a dish of pasta and an espresso.
Right.
But it was that whole experience.
Right.
So that's what we give. There's a lot of history. I have artwork on the wall. Our floors are brought over from Italy. They're about 400 years old, and they're still there. Everything's original.
Wow. Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, your location, you're close to Menlo Park Mall, correct?
I could throw a stone and hit Menlo Park Mall.
Okay, there you go.
So it was my father built behind the Lombardi family, or it's not Lombardi's anymore. They sold it. Executive Plaza.
Okay. Yeah.
So they were right there behind us. They were in front of us on Parsonage, and then there's Menlo Mall across from them.
Right. Right. How does does that location work good for you?
Works great. I would never want to be in a strip mall or a mall. Like, that's just not what my business is about.
Right.
And that's okay. For some businesses, that's okay. We're definitely a luxury brand.
Mm-hmm.
Everything from our product line, it's all on. It's a luxury brand, and that client wants to pull up. We have clients that pull up in Lamborghinis and Ferraris and car service, and
Right.
they're not going to pull up to a strip mall.
Right.
So that works for them. They want that cobblestone experience. They want, and people say it. They're like, I want to feel like I'm in Italy getting a haircut and having an espresso.
Excellent.
And we get it. I get it. But it's hard for me. It's easy for me to get it because that's who I am.
Right.
I'm this person since I was a kid and worked in the city and traveled the world and brought that because I understood someone's vision.
Right.
So now for me to translate that into employees, how to have them see that vision. So somebody will come in and say, I want a fade. And they'll know to step back and say, a fade's not for you. And they'll tell them what is and how
Right.
we're going to get somewhere and what we're going to do and how you're going to take care of it.
Right.
That's how we go about our business.
Gotcha. And one thing that's always on my mind, when it comes to small businesses, is the last year that we had, 2020, the whole pandemic. How did it? Obviously, everything worked out in some way, shape, or form. But how did 2020 treat you overall?
It was horrible. It was a scary place to be. We're such a legitimate business. I never took any kind of loans or anything like that.
Yeah.
Everybody was on unemployment. They were doing great on unemployment because they were getting extra $600 a week on top
Right.
of the $627.
Right.
So they were doing fine. I just really, it was very lonely. I'm not a lonely kind of person.
Yeah.
I'm so used to like people and family and friends and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden
Right.
it just stopped.
Yeah.
And I was worried about everybody. I kept telling everybody, don't go to people's houses. I don't want nobody to get sick. And then that's when I really started realizing like the bigger picture. Barbers weren't getting unemployment or they weren't getting anything. And they were going out and doing home haircuts during COVID because you're working for these shops. Like nobody could work for me if they're not licensed. And if you're not properly insured. And if you're not on our ADP or our payroll system, and if you're not putting money in some kind of 401 that I'm going to match, and that's fine. And that's the cost of doing business.
Right.
And that's where the business part of it comes in. So although we're a small business, we think on a bigger scale.
Right.
People are people.
Right.
So we don't disrespect anybody. So I don't care if you're working as a barber. It doesn't mean that you're a step down and you don't get treated the right way. If my haircut needs to be $40, it needs to be $40. That's the cost of our goods and services.
Right.
You know, you're going to get what you pay for, but we do get the client that says, oh, I can get this cheaper down the street. Well, then go down the street.
Go down the street.
Go disrespect their people. Don't disrespect mine.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They'll go down the street, then they'll come back.
Yeah, they do.
So, yeah, absolutely. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut to your webpage.
Okay.
Right here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Casa Uomo. So, like looking at the webpage, you have the services you offer,
Yeah.
your location, everything right here.
Pricing is there, location. That's all my work.
Okay. Okay, so you see here, you got hair and coloring, razor.
Yeah, we're a
and
full service salon for men.
Full service
Specialize
salon for
in men.
Gotcha.
So our product line is geared towards men, and our skin care is geared towards men, and our facials are geared towards men. Our wax, our color needs are geared towards men.
Right. And I got this nice little gallery here, nice little photographs of and there's your building right there, right here. And you said not a strip mall, standalone facility.
Yeah. My father built the building.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah, he actually built it, everything.
Excellent.
So it means a lot.
Oh, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
I can only imagine that what that actually means.
Well, it's great. I mean, the market's go. I constantly get bombarded with realtors. I guess it's a great spot, a standalone building, and it is an oversized lot itself.
Okay.
So it's great though. I love it.
Yeah. And for everybody, this is CasaUomoSalon.com.
Casa Uomo Men's Salon.
Men's Salon. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot the men's. CasaUomoMen'sSalon.com.
Yes.
Yeah. So you want everybody to go check that out. Definitely. Without a doubt. And so anything else you want to share with the folks of Edison and also, the folks from Woodbridge too, because once again, everybody, we have this going out to our new platform, Woodbridge Now. And like I had mentioned, we're going to be cross-pollinating some of the things we put on Woodbridge Now and Edison Now, to get the Woodbridge Now platform up and running. And is there anything else you want the people of Woodbridge, the people of Edison to know?
No, I mean, come on down, check us out.
Come on. Yeah, I recommend that.
Happy to meet you.
I definitely recommend it. Go to the website, come on down, check out Casa Uomo Men's Salon. And I want to thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. Thanks you, Sammy.
For having us.
Yeah, thank you, Sammy. Thank you, Michael. And if you ever want to come back on, you let me know. If there's anything else you want to talk about, business wise, and we'll make it happen. And I want to thank everybody once again. Thank you you have no idea how much we appreciate your support for the platform Edison Now and Woodbridge Now. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you on the flip side.